popularly known as Ikoyi. Let's meet you, Ikoyi.
Hi guys, my name is Temitayo Ogundare. Most people know me as Ikoyi.
Yeah, so can you just give us a little insight into your love story?
My love story,
From the beginning. Yes.
pretty much very simple to be honest. Nothing dramatic. I'm not sure what I have to say. I come from a family of lawyers because in my immediate family, I mean my dad and my mom, none of them are lawyers.
Okay.
Although my auntie was a Supreme Court justice.
Interesting.
I have a couple of uncles and aunties that are lawyers, but within my immediate family, nobody's a lawyer. So
Okay.
yeah. So pretty much these people around me sort of influenced me at the very early stage. I remember when I was in high school, when it was getting to a time when, to be honest, actually a lot of people don't know this, but I actually wanted to become a medical doctor.
Mm.
But you know now, African parents, because you know your parents seem to have, or they always think they have a perspective of who they think you are and what you can do. They always feel like, oh, because we brought you up or we raised you, they always think they know better.
Yeah.
You know, so unfortunately, I don't regret it, but unfortunately, my mom sort of influenced my decision into moving into art class because I actually wanted to do sciences, and then she was like, "Oh, you're too playful. You won't be able to cope in science class." It was that simple. Like that was the end of the conversation. You know,
Wow.
that was the end of my dream of becoming a medical doctor. Like it was pretty, like, oh, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to be a medical doctor, and then she just goes, "Are you playing? Like, guy, you're not serious now.
Oh,
like,
serious thing, you know.
serious thing. We go to art class." But then it got me wondering that do they have that impression that those that go to art class are unserious? You know, because studying law is not a joke. You know, so. But yeah, that's how the journey began, and then it wasn't such a difficult decision picking law when I was in art class because I mean it's a noble profession, and then there's just something prestigious about being a lawyer. You know, you can't really define it. You have to feel it. You have to do it to understand what it feels like to be a lawyer, and I'm grateful
Yeah, you
thus far.
yeah, you know what I find it interesting the most about what you just said? It's like so like we always say, in Nigeria there are basically three professions. And
I
whether you're an
agree.
engineer, lawyer, or a doctor.
I agree.
So it's quite surprising that you picked one of the three, and then your parents felt like, oh,
I mean,
pick an easier one.
I mean,
So that means I'm thinking maybe if you had said engineering, you'd have been like, nah.
I mean, when she didn't even let me do medicine, you know, so it wasn't such a hard decision. Like I said, when I was in art class, having to pick the legal profession, you know, but I wouldn't say it was. Of course, we all know studying law is not a joke. It wasn't easy. It was actually quite challenging for me personally. Quite
It's
it was
challenging for all of us, bro.
no, trust me. I mean, a lot of people don't know. But I took the bar exam twice.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
yeah, I took the bar exam twice. And coming from a school like Obafemi Awolowo, I was going into law school. I was very confident. You know, I was thinking, oh, it would just be one jolly ride. You know, and then understanding that, you know, having been in uni for 5 years, and then you have your pattern, like you have your way of, you know, approaching exams and all of that. Law school literally resets you. I don't know if you get what I mean.
Oh,
So
I do.
I went into law school with the old perspective of, oh, coming from uni, oh, all you need to do is just have some time and like just study for the exams. But unfortunately, in order to boss, I won't go into the full details of to why I flunked my first exam, but there you have it.
Yeah,
My
but-
first attempt at the bar was an epic fail. Well, maybe I shouldn't go too bad on myself. It wasn't exactly an epic fail, but then I failed and I had to take the exam again. So it was quite challenging, and it took all I had in me, to get back on track.
Yeah, yeah. So we're definitely going to come back to that, because I feel like there's a lot to uncover there. Yeah, but like, so when I was going to introduce you, I was going to say, we have Ikoyi, the more traversal, versatile, and then I list all the things you do. But like, I mean, I'm about to say etc, because I don't think I have the full
No, come on, it's not that
grasp
many.
of the range. But so I'll let you do that. Just
Okay.
tell us what you do.
Okay, very quickly, I introduce myself again. My name is Temitayo Ogundare. I am a legal practitioner by profession. I'm also an actor, a model. I do voiceovers. I also, right now, currently work with a firm that offers professional services.
Interesting.
But then I have special interest and love for entertainment law. So I do that too.
I think that's quite interesting, because you're also an actor.
Yeah. So for the entertainment scene, I work in front and behind the camera.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's nice. That should be your tag. Ikoyi in front
And back of camera.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So, seeing as the legal practice is viewed as a very difficult professional area, how have you been able to dabble in entertainment and these other things and still maintained like this, try to keep up with the level of professionalism, the intense professionalism that is associated with legal practice? I'm going to assume it's not easy.
To be honest, it's actually not easy at all. There's no way to sugarcoat it. It's going to be caught in between what the law says and your drive and your passion, what you want. So personally, I love the legal profession, no doubt, but I also have like special interest of my own. I have things that I want to achieve for myself. For example, like I said earlier, I come from a family of a few personalities in the legal profession.
Yeah.
At the same time, I also come from a family with a few personalities in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Like, for example, my grandfather of blessed memory now was an actor. So growing up watching people like that, seeing the likes of like Shola Shobowale come around the house, just seeing all these people up close, it kind of gives you that you start to see it won't be so hard to develop an interest, having to just see people like that just around, So I think from that time, I've always had that drive and the passion for entertainment. Just wanted to be like a movie star. But growing up, I started to understand that like life is just not what you think it is. Like you have to work hard and then you have to deal with life at the same time.
Yeah.
So combining law with entertainment is super challenging. These are two different professions that demand maximum attention. It's almost impossible. I'm going to be very honest. There's no way to put it. It's almost impossible for you to practice law and do entertainment at the same time. It's almost impossible. But like for me, it's the passion. And I felt like I said earlier, a lot of people don't know this, but I took the bar exam twice.
Yeah.
I'm not about to get called to bar and just dump the certificate like that. Do you understand? So
Yes.
I worked hard for that.
I understand that.
So
Really.
so you can understand the emotional connection I have with law,
Yeah.
and then the fact that I also want to do something that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
So when I started working, I used to work in a law firm, like your like regular law firm, like litigation law firm. So then was at the time when I was in my NYC. So it was at that point I started to really figure out my interest in entertainment at the same time. So it was such a challenging time. It was quite difficult. At some point I had to leave the job because it was becoming a big deal, at work, because your employer is like, oh, you're a lawyer, you're supposed to be doing all these things, trying to quote the RPC and all of that. So it was at the point I had to make that decision to leave. So I understood that I could still, the beauty about law is that you could still practice law without doing litigation.
Yeah.
You know, so like I said earlier, now right now I work with a firm that offers professional services.
Okay.
You know, actually into
break that
auditing and
Okay.
tax. You
Okay.
know, and company secretarial services. So that's where I work right now. So and with that, I don't think, I'm sure I'm not flouting in the RPC role because I'm not appearing in court anymore, you know, but I'm still a legal practitioner offering company secretarial services and doing my thing at the same time, as long as it's not obstructing, you know, your deliverables at work. So it's pretty fine. But for people generally, like practicing law in the bit of it, like going to court, and then doing entertainment at the same time, it just won't work.
Just won't work.
The system wasn't designed that way, unfortunately.
So basically, you're saying, based on your experience,
From my experience, there is no way you can successfully practice law. I mean referring to litigation and then being on TV at the same time. No, it won't work. It won't work. It won't work. I tried it. Trust me. I tried it. It was such an emotional.
You're not going to encourage people to.
I'm not going to. So that's the thing. I'm not going to discourage anybody who wants to. So here's the thing. You just have to get to that point in your life or in your career where you have to make that decision. You know. So it's not easy. It's not like you just going downstairs and picking a car and driving out from your garage. You know. It's not. You have to calm down. You have to look into yourself and be sure of what you really want.
Yeah.
My personal advice to people generally is, regardless of what you want to do with your life, law or entertainment or anything at all, whatever decision you want to take in your life, pardon me, the first thing first is you consider your happiness. What is that thing that you would do that will bring you joy naturally, not regarding whether you're getting paid for it or not. Do you understand what I mean?
I understand what you mean. But
so for you to be happy in a career or something that you want to do for a living, so I would advise that you pick something that you derive joy in, something that will bring you joy, regardless of whether you're getting paid or not. So when you now start that career and then you're now getting paid for it, is extra, you know, like it's extra. How do I put it? It's just like extra joy.
So basically, you're saying if there was a scenario where Ikoyi was earning 200,000 at a major law firm, with the stress and everything, and then he got a job opportunity at another area where he's passionate about, and they would pay him 50K. You're saying Ikoyi would have made the switch without thinking about the difference in salary?
Okay, realistically speaking, considering the fact that we're in Lagos, Nigeria, and there are bills to be paid, you also have, the Nigeria factor alone would not make this advice exactly practical, but it is what it is. Do you understand? If you were in a developed terrain where things were working normally, you know, you get out of school, you're setting, you get a job, and all these things, it'll be easy to, you know, follow your dreams and your passions. But now in Nigeria, you have to consider the Nigerian factor. There are bills to be paid. Nobody cares about your passion, man. Here, you have to do what you have to do and get paid and take care of your responsibilities.
Okay.
But then my advice still stands, to be honest, because you can only find that's where you find true joy. You cannot. There's so many people that are doing jobs where they're getting well paid, but they're unhappy. But then it's probably just the money that keeps you there. You know, so, and you find out that those people get to that point in their career where when you make enough money, you know, enough money is not enough money, but is based on perspective. So as far as this person is concerned, and it feels like, you know what, I've made enough money in this career, let me go and rest. And so that's why you find people at some point in their life, they're now switching careers. And unfortunately, sometimes there's no time, there's no age. Like the age is you're far gone, you know. So there's little you can actually offer in that sector anymore. But what's most important, basically, is for you to do something that really makes you happy.
So that makes sense. Despite following your passion, you have to think about where you are.
No, you have to.
In Nigeria, you find that balance, because life no balance.
Life no balance. Life no balance.
So we're going on a short break now. I'll be back after that. Welcome back. Once again, this is Breakfast with Mylaw, and we still have here in the studio with us Ikoyi. So, seeing as you are the man that works in front and behind the camera of the entertainment law area, and you also have that expertise in like the link between entertainment and the law. What are your views, hopes, and the burgeoning relationship between entertainment and the law? Because I mean, I would assume we've seen progress recently.
Come again. I didn't.
What are your views and hopes in the burgeoning relationship between entertainment and the law?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'm assuming stuff is changing, and
I mean, to be honest, a lot is changing in that sector, in my opinion, because I mean the government is starting to pay attention to it, because entertainment is generating a lot of revenue, and that has been, in my opinion, that has been because it has been handled by the individuals ourselves, like Nigerians, the content creators. We are the ones in charge. Unfortunately for the government, it is not a sector that they have been able to clamp, if you get what I mean. Like, they do not exactly have that access.
Are you daring them?
No, I'm not. No. I'm just saying, like, because the way that sector works is it has to be the creatives that would drive anything to
progress.
work. Yeah, exactly. So you cannot just have administrators coming to run such a sector. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
It is not like it's not like an office where you just, okay, this has to be in place, or this has to. No. It has to be the creatives, themselves driving this.
Keep talking, sir.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. So it has to be the creatives driving things. So, but the only thing I think the government should do to help is to be reasonable with taxes. To make it easy for people to be able to create, because basically entertainment is about content creation.
Yeah.
And there are times when there are people that with creative minds who have those ideas, but unfortunately the resource isn't there yet.
Yeah.
So by the time you make it difficult for people who don't have the funds to create things by imposing taxes and all of that. It becomes really difficult. Do you understand? So if they are being reasonable with taxes, I think that in no time, Nigerian entertainment sector will be. I mean, even at the moment, we are competing with other counterparts around the world.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you won't mention Hollywood, Bollywood without talking about Nollywood.
Well,
it's facts only. No, if you look at the revenue that they are generating, is the fact is there for itself.
For me, I would say now that is the case, because I know, like, growing up, it was always like, Nollywood is the third after it's Hollywood, Bollywood and Nollywood, and
I think that has changed in the last
they're like
2-3
Nollywood, really?
In the last, to be honest.
But now we can. I mean, we have new deals coming in.
I mean,
Moabudu recently signed on Netflix.
Personally, I would still rate Nigerian, the Nollywood over Gollywood.
Gollywood?
The Ghana.
I don't think that was. I don't think there was ever a debate. Like, no offense, I'm saying that seriously. I don't think there was ever a debate as to.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
So speaking about content creation and creativity and all that, portrayals, parodies, satires, they go a long way in shaping the mind of the youth and public opinion. Like, a lot of times we don't think, what you put out there has an effect on public opinion, right, of the younger, more malleable minds, right? And coming off that idea, what's your view on in
So-
relation to the legal profession, to creations or creativity areas that dabble in like Lassie-esque portrayal of the legal system and our response as lawyers to that portrayal? Do you think
Okay.
it should be calm or accepted as a joke, or there some responses have been quite harsh, like we don't want this portrayal. The legal system is extremely concerned with your identity, right?
Yeah.
And so, what's your opinion on that? What do you think we should do?
So, in my opinion, first of all,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any content creator that would put out content without the intent of it going viral or touching like people or you
Yeah.
don't just put out content just because
Just
you
because.
just there's an intention, So I feel like every content you see out there on the internet there's a reason behind it, there's a purpose. So as regards, to be honest, I find Lasisi very funny, very hilarious. There's just a few of them with that range that he has. He's a brilliant, talented guy, and I'm a huge fan. So regardless of the fact that I'm a legal practitioner and I have huge respect for the profession, pardon me, it is just what it is. Please, Lasisi's jokes are just they're just jokes, for goodness sake. Like, why are you tightening the wall to your chest?
I mean,
Why?
It's almost
It's not
like
necessary. No, I
our
mean, yeah, I
motto
understand.
in the legal
No.
system.
I understand what if, but obviously you can see the point he's trying to make. Do you understand? Like,
Yeah.
it is just bants.
Yeah.
It is. Come on. I think whoever has a problem with that man's sense of humor needs to be checked. But I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody's entitled.
Yeah.
There's no time I watch those lawyer jokes that I don't crack up.
Yeah.
I never get offended, but I wouldn't judge anyone for feeling some type of way about what he's doing or what is.
What that might be-
Do you understand? Or
what-
maybe they have
What
a
am I
problem
saying
with
about
exactly.
the profession?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But personally, I don't have a problem with it, and I think the man is very hilarious. So you should keep cracking us up.
Yeah. That's interesting. So coming off the, but let me just take it slow. You do something that's quite interesting because a lot of times when people like us, a lot of people in school, we're always interested in entertainment law. We're always interested in not being dragged into that hardcore, formal harshness of the legal profession. You understand? It's always like, oh, hopefully I can find a way to balance
it.
to, still be that I respect her, but not the one that has to sleep at the office till the next day almost 3 times a week, and like you're depressed and all that. And so you have a lot of people thinking about that, and here you are, you've been able to find like a way to navigate and bridge the gap in those areas and thrive, or should I still say thrive? You're still thriving.
Please,
You
I'm still
understand? So
thriving.
what advice can you give based on your experience and how you got to where you are where you're going? What advice can you give people with this interest that you have coming up? What they should do that would make it easier for them, and what you've learned along the way? Sorry, my question sounds too long, but
In fact, I'm starting to look like bar finals.
bro.
Because when you started, I was
No, it's just to
grabbing
make.
it, and then I was like, oh Lord.
I'm sorry. That's
I
what
shall
happens
not
when you
need
get interviewed by
answer
Red
booklets
Hot Kunle. I'm sorry. That's what
I
happens.
think I need answer
That's what
booklets for this
happens.
one, because this one, shall I? Okay, where do I even start from? Okay, first of all, I'm flattered by the fact that you think I'm thriving. I'm very flattered. So, to be honest, there's no hard and fast route to it. To be honest, I've said a bit about it earlier. It's about your passion, what you're passionate about. We're all individuals, and I feel like everybody has a reason why they're on earth.
Mhm.
You understand? So when you find your reason,
Purpose.
like the truth is there shouldn't be any pressure. It might take you a while. It might take you longer than your friend before you
Nigeria is
figure
a
out.
land of pressure, though.
That it's unfortunate. We are the one putting on ourselves under unnecessary pressure. To be honest, life could be a lot easier than we make it. To be honest, that's my personal opinion. I feel like life could be a lot easier than we make it, but as individuals, you have to first of all relax.
Just calm down.
Just calm down.
Bro,
Do you understand? Chill. Try and figure out what you really want to do. Another thing I wanted to mention is when you were talking about entertainment law and
Yeah.
relating it to the law that everybody
Yeah.
knows law to be,
Yeah.
the actual practice,
Yeah.
litigation,
Yeah.
and all of that. I want to change the opinion that most people have that entertainment law is joke or is interesting. Like,
Well, I mean, I
So-
wouldn't.
no,
I
no,
wouldn't
no.
say that's the
Let-
opinion.
No,
it,
no,
it
no.
feels like people would assume
that's
that
what I'm
area
saying.
would be easier.
So that's what I'm trying to clear the air now. So entertainment law is not just that law that you are trying to go to avoid the rigorous known life of
Doesn't mean you hang out
practice.
with this
No.
kid and discuss his contract with Sony.
Let me bust your head.
Yeah. Bust it.
I don't know if I should be mentioning this, but I've worked on a few agreements for a few celebrities that
like-
I have not even met before. Trust me.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Well,
I don't want to be blowing my own.
blow
But
your own now.
I don't need
blow
it.
your own.
I don't
Make
need it.
them know.
I've
Just mention one. Just mention one. More
I
just-
reviewed an agreement for Burna Boy,
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Zlatan. If I go through my computer now, I can pull out a list of A-list artists that I have not met physically. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But trust me, I've reviewed their agreements, things that affect their life.
Yeah.
Do you understand? If I joked around with their contracts, maybe their life could have been ruined by now.
Oh.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that most of them might not even know that, the way law works now,
Yeah.
like you could get a job and need help on it, and then you contact your colleague to,
Yeah.
sometimes when the scope of work is large and then
Wide,
you need
yeah.
to, so, or maybe you get a job, but you're not so conversant in that area, so
Yeah.
you look for an expert in that, in that line.
Yeah.
So most times, because a lot of people know that I'm into entertainment law, like they
Yeah.
reach out to me that, okay, we need you to do this and do that. So I have a lot of A-list artists that I have worked for that might not even know me on personal terms,
Yeah.
but I have reviewed their agreements, reviewed their contracts, and that's the contract that is still fetching them money to tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So the essence of what I'm trying to say is that entertainment law is not a joke. Do you understand? It's not an easy way out.
Yeah.
Entertainment law is not an easy way out. It's not. I don't know how to explain it, but trust me,
Yeah, it's not
it's just as complicated as
Yeah. It's as difficult as the other
as
areas.
there's no
It's
part
not
of
going to
law
be.
that is easy. Do you understand? Law is still the law. It's the same attention. It's the same
Yeah.
amount of attention and to detail
Detail.
that you're going to pay to a land agreement that you pay to a contract split for a track
Yeah.
that you're drafting. Do you understand? You have to pay that same attention to it. You won't say because it's music. Fam, that people's lives are at stake.
Yeah.
People's income, money is involved.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Now we are in a digital age. Everything is online. Like
Yeah.
you streaming, views, all these things is dollars, fam.
Yeah.
So if you're starting to look at it like it's just entertainment now, it's not a big deal, and you're saying no. So first of all, I need to clear that opinion that
Yeah,
no.
that
So there's no
mentality.
part of law that is easy. It's just your interest, your passion.
Yeah.
Personally, I would rather do that than I don't know, go to court and be doing my lord sir. And that's not saying that I don't have respect for people that do it. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. I understand what you mean.
Exactly. So
I
it's just your passion, your interest. That's what decides what. That's why I was saying earlier, like find something that makes you happy and just go for it on 100.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So it makes, Ronaldo said it a few years back, maybe not a few years back, but a while back in one of his interviews when he said that it is shocking to find out that people actually pay you to do what you love doing. He said it was crazy, like meaning that he can be playing that football for season after season free. Do you understand? Like
he loves it.
enjoys playing football. So like he doesn't care about the fact that money is involved. Like to him, he was shocked. Like, wow, you're actually paying me millions of pounds. Do you understand? Like, imagine somebody paying you to play FIFA in the comfort of your home.
Yeah.
So do you understand? So if you
esports is coming up soon, bro.
you know with PS5 coming out, and imagine somebody coming to buy you PS5, gives you FIFA 21, and then puts you on monthly salary just to be playing.
Interestingly, that's so where we're going. Really, that's where we're going.
So if you can find a job that's going to give you that much joy, do it.
Well, just for viewers out there, that you local champion in your area, and you think because you used to beat your guys 5-0, 4-0, you think you go out there and start winning money. That's not what he's talking about. Well, I get the idea of what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's always to find. Basically, what I imagine is I'm going to work.
Do you understand? Like,
and
trust me,
you're looking forward to going to work.
I used to feel that way when I used to work in a law firm. I wake up angry, I wake up sad, I wake up depressed.
I'm sure there are a lot of people that can attest to that.
Yeah, trust me. Like, so, but unfortunately, a lot of us are doing things that we're not happy doing, but because we want to get paid.
Yeah.
You know, and it's unfortunate. It's just the way the society works. Our system here is flawed, you know, and hopefully we'll keep praying that we get better.
I mean,
but so
it's up to us.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope we do better.
Yeah. All right. Next one, we'll be going on a short break, and then we'll be back again. It's still Mylaw Kunle in the studio with Ikoyi. Welcome back. It's still Breakfast with Mylaw, and I'm your host, Mylaw Kunle, still here in the studio with Ikoyi.
Going back, baby.
I like the reply. I mean, before we move on to our serious stuff, I've been meaning to ask, why do you have the nickname Ikoyi?
Okay. Funny story. Okay. Long story short, my friends started calling me, my very close friends started calling me Ikoyi. And it all started with, it started in law school, actually.
Oh.
So when I was in law school, I had these friends from Babcock then, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, my name is Temitayo. Yeah. So they used to call me Temita. They removed the Y-O at the back of my name for whatever reason. I don't know. But they removed the name. Bamishe and Damisho are very responsible for that. So they started calling me Temita NLS. Okay. So Temita Nigerian Law School.
Okay.
Do you understand? So Temita of Nigerian Law School.
Doesn't Temita mean something Yoruba like?
No. It was just them being mischievous by taking out the last 2 letters of my name. You know, it was just that. So throughout law school, I mean, it was upsetting, but I didn't have a choice. You know how your friends can be when they just want to get on your nerves. So the name stuck throughout law school. So when I was done with law school,
I moved to Ikoyi.
And I moved to Lagos. Yes, I was living in Ikoyi, and my office was in Ikoyi too. I used to work in a law firm on Awolowo Road, and then I live somewhere in Ikoyi too, because I still live there, Kotowa Kamimoli, before I give my full address. Yeah, so so yeah, I was working and living in Ikoyi. So, and unfortunately, this same friend of mine, Bamishe, that started calling me that in law school, was also working in the same law firm. Okay. So she started calling me Temitayo Ogundare, as opposed to NLS, because I'd moved from and then the name was Temitayo Ogundare for a long time until I did that. There was a skit that went viral, the very first one I did, that I was referring to myself as Ikoyi, and then the name just stuck. And here we are.
Back to serious stuff. Earlier in our conversation, you spoke about you having to write the bar exam twice.
Yeah.
I said I was going to come back to that.
I thought you were going to let it go.
No. Like, so the reason why I'm coming back to that is that a lot of times, I know being a lawyer, we've all seen it.
Yeah.
People get dejected by setbacks.
Yeah.
Do you understand? A lot of I've seen situations where people really are themselves after setbacks, and I would even assume setback at the law school area is way more damning than setback. in
There's no.
university. That's
I mean,
just
yeah.
there's something worse. I mean, because I could remember all this stuff where they're like, oh, especially Lagos Law School. It's like, and it's problematic. It's like, oh, you don't want to be like battery people. It's like those like
I was battery with my
yeah.
chest.
So and that's a good thing and it's impressive. So I came back to this because I want you to be able to give a nugget to something that must have pushed you to say, I'm not going to let this affect me. I'm just going to go on and on.
Okay, so like I said, it was very challenging for me. It was very challenging.
Can't imagine.
I mean, the results came out, and then I wouldn't say I wasn't expecting it. Okay, I'll tell you what actually happened. So on the day of my corporate exam, we all know how you feel now because you're going to take corporate, like the almighty corporate, you know. So, I mean, I got out of the exam hall, and then I was discussing with my roommate at the time. We actually talked about a topic a likely topic that will come out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, this would come out, or like you should pay attention to it and all of that. And then we talked about it and everything. So he came out of the exam hall coming to like, oh, thanks, bro. Like you really helped me. Like that topic that we talked about, like, it came out. I was like, wait, like the topic came out. Like I was shaking. Do you understand? So it was a moment of truth. So I dragged myself back to my hostel, and then I was looking at the exam question paper, and I was thinking, should I check and find out if this thing was really there? Because I was thinking it would have been so upsetting if this topic actually came out. And
that was one of the topics you knew you
do you understand?
Gotten like full scores in, like,
and then only for me to not even answer. I didn't even know the question came out, to show you how absent-minded and careless I was at the exam. So, and in my head, I thought I'd done the exam well. So apparently, I didn't answer the compulsory question.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So I already knew this from the day I wrote the exam. Do you understand? Like I already knew this from the day I wrote the exam. So it was up to God to just pull a miracle. So low key, I was expecting that, you know what, like I would fail this exam, like, and do you understand? But I was just hoping and praying for a miracle, because it wasn't that I didn't know it. I was just being careless, you know. I literally flipped the page and like ignored it and forgot to do it. That was what happened. So I got back to my hostel and I found out that I didn't answer this question. I was just hoping and praying some magic would happen, but don't worry, my Odo, they brought it to me in wheelbarrow.
yeah, but I mean, so just tell us, like, what could
when the results came out, of all my friends, I think I was the only one that failed. So that makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like in my circle of friends, all my friends passed. Like all my friends passed. So it was strange, you know. We all went to uni together. We all passed. We all got to law school together, and then I was the one getting left behind. So, but then I knew that I had nobody to blame but myself. You know, it was, you have to reach in. You have
the examination system in the country.
Nah, I had myself to blame because I could have been more thorough. You know, you have to be honest with yourself. First thing in life, you have to be very honest with yourself. By the time you keep lying to yourself.
Let me explain what I mean by that. So what I mean is, if you've been taught, and you know it, right, and somehow you write the exam, and you know it, and you fail, and you know it. Are you saying, like?
I get what you mean.
Yeah. So I'm not just trying. I'm saying, like, if people do know it, there are ways. There are probably better ways to be able to.
Unfortunately, the only way.
I'm not saying like what exists is.
I understand, but that's all we have. Examination. That's the only way to test that you actually do know it. So if you know it and you can't pass the exam, then what are you saying?
No, you know it, but like just some parameters. So you could have gone into the exam hall and you're just tense.
Yeah, that's nobody's business.
Oh no.
No, to be honest, because because when you
Let's not be back and forth.
no.
Let's just
Okay, let's agree to disagree.
Yeah, let's agree. I was just trying to explain where I was
I
coming
get
from.
what you mean.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to tell you that the reality of things, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares, you know. So
So, I mean, I feel like we've just been dabbling on this point. Really, what I want to know is what pushed you to not let this hold you back.
so it was just
Because people are going. This
personal-
is going to happen to people.
it's the
Definitely,
truth. It is.
yeah.
It was a personal conviction, you know. It was just I decided I wasn't going to let it get to me. It wasn't easy, trust me. It took nights of tears and almost going into depression, probably depression self at some point, you know, high blood pressure and all of that. It was just a whole lot of emotions that I can't even
Put into words.
yes right now. But I remember when I got home, and to be honest, I feel like your family and your friends also have to play an important role in this regard, because I'm grateful to my family for being there for me at the time, and my friends, because it was such a difficult period. I got back home. I remember I got back home, and then I saw my dad, and then he asked me, so like there was no why did you fail, or the first thing he asked was, are you okay? Because I was in Lagos when the result came out, so I came back home to Ibadan. My parents live in Ibadan, so I got home and my father was like, oh, are you okay? And I'm like, yes. And I said, I'm sorry. And he was like, you didn't. I can't remember if he responded. And then the next thing he asked was, so what next? Do you want to take the exam or you want to do something else? That was the very next question. Like, do you want to retake the exam or you want to? So I was like, I'll retake the exam. And I was like, okay, let me know when it's time to pay for the exam. And I was,
We're all going to clap. We're all going to clap.
you know,
That's
and then
the
he
clap.
just, I was shocked because I totally expected the conversation to go the other way around, like him trying to
'Cause
chastise me
that
for.
reaction is rare.
You understand? From a Nigerian father, you know,
Yeah.
and that is not a billionaire.
Yeah. Doesn't know. Do
you understand? So it was quite emotional for me. But my family was there for me, my brother, my friends, and then it was just a conviction. Like I said, it's a personal thing. You have to just decide. At that point, I decided I would not let the outcome of my previous results define me.
Yeah.
And I just gave it my best shot.
Okay. Thank you, Ikoyi. The point of Mylaw's story is to, meet with different lawyers, different people in the legal spectrum that have gone through different things and able to give us insights into where they are and how they navigated the system, right? And I'm so happy we've been able to do that today. I think we've been able to do justice to some of these questions. I nobody listening to me. I said clap. I was the only one clapping. So can we all in the studio give a round of applause for Ikoyi's dad?
Thank you very much.
I mean, that's. I still think that kind of love and that kind of affection that makes you understand. Yes,
Yeah.
I think you might have that conviction, but you could get broken. I can imagine the journey from Lagos to Ibadan.
No, it was.
And you're just thinking about it, and then you get home, and then your dad comes with like.
I remember I got home and like I saw my mom and I started crying again. Like immediately I saw my mom and then, of course, she started crying, and then two of us were crying, and I was like, and then I had to stop because I wasn't comfortable with the fact that she was.
Yeah.
And I noticed that it was the energy that I was bringing that she was reflecting. You understand? So I decided I needed to be strong for myself, most importantly, and for her, you know. And then my dad's reaction just sealed it. He didn't, till tomorrow, he never even asked what really happened about the exam. Yeah. And when I passed at my second attempt, I had all distinction in my second attempt, but unfortunately, it doesn't count.
We're still gonna clap.
Unfortunately, it doesn't count.
So I think that's beautiful, and it's not always going to be about 3 Ferraris. Your parents can show you love and care.
That Ferrari
in
matter
ways that
cause
are
trouble.
priceless. You understand? Oh, it costs trouble.
Because I if you've been on Twitter, I sent my dad the picture that you should see that Otedola
You still get mine?
I get mine now. That was 3 years ago now. If I busted with what my dad replied me with a picture of one of the guys that had a first class in law school in this current set. That was his reply. So
Nothing
that
else.
It was just end of conversation. There was no point.
A man of few words.
You get, he doesn't talk much. Actually, that's the best way to describe him. He doesn't talk much. He just sent me the picture of the guy with first class
And you
in law,
you just-
and I just figured, well,
you off your mic.
you get, you get. It was that simple. It was that simple.
All right, thank you, Ikoyi. I was really glad. I'm really happy you came.
I'm so
really
glad. Thank you so much for the invite.
I
And for
mean,
the,
that's what
yeah.
you get when you introduce by so All right, remember this is still Breakfast with Mylaw. Catch you in the next episode. Once again, it was Breakfast with Mylaw with Ikoyi in the studio. I hope you've learned a lot from this episode. That's usually the idea. These interviews to give you like a perspective and into people's life and how they navigate.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Special thanks to everybody in the studio.
In
Producer Mojoyolua, Michael, executive producer Mr. Fortune, deputy executive producer, and our spectators.
I'll leave you with the words of one of my favorite guys, Agba Oliekun.
You was supposed to be here today.
Yeah, he called me a few minutes ago. I think he was running late. He had a meeting in Lekki too, so he should be on his way now. Anyways, I'll leave you with the words of Agba, which is Koni Baja baby. Koni ever Baja baby.
Folks, yeah.